There is something so satisfying about playing a disc golf course that visually does justice to the place you are geographically in this country. And this course, in my opinion, truly captures the essence of Georgia. You walk down one's fairway, these towering pine trees just swallow you up instantly. You look around you and this red clay seems to blanket the ground all over. And the two of those combine to form this wonderful earthy fragrance that just lingers with you after the round is over. I love it here. And the disc golf is spectacular. I'm Brian Earhart, and this is W.R. Jackson.
And it hits all the senses. The quiet nature feel of it all.
You're in nature for 18 holes, and it's in the middle of the park. There's really not much outside noise. If we just stop for a second and listen, there's nothing except for some chains.
It feels like it's just rooted in history in the sport of disc golf. The people that have really set the groundwork for disc golf, and like their story lives on here.
To see the different colors of green here are magic, and it has a feel to it.
When you get to W.R. Jackson for the first time, or many times after that, you have this like sense of peace of being in the woods. It's just like you're kind of coming back home.
It's a magical place.
I feel like invigorating is like the best word I can think of.
It's good for the soul to be here, to have the wind off the lake, to have it 10-30 rated shots carved out perfectly for you. Doesn't mean you're gonna hit them, but it's there.
I don't know, the course is tough though, so like part of me is excited about the history of the place, but also like I know I've got to really like ground myself and be ready to go to battle.
WR asks you to make a lot of choices.
It makes you shape shots every direction.
You can't throw on one angle. You have to be able to be creative with your disc.
There is fear almost on every hole, critically from the tee pad, to pick the tree that you must not hit.
It's mean and it doesn't care about your feelings.
W.R. Jackson definitely demands all different shapes.
This place is demanding from tee to green.
You're going to find unique places. The angles that are being asked of you.
It's a mental battle as well as battling the course.
You could throw a drive in the middle of the fairway and be scrambling.
I love the fact that when you do get off the fairway here, there are little gaps.
You get punished by being off the fairway, but makes it that much more exciting.
It's a mental battle as well as battling the course. Yeah, there's a lot of thinking that goes on wooded courses, and especially here.
I mean, you just have to really be able to imagine the shot before you throw it.
To make sure that you execute over and over again is a skill in itself. So I don't know, it's exciting. I'm excited. This is going to be so much fun.
The stage is set, the course is ready, and the players are primed to fight to take down their first major title of 2023. For Tournament Central, I'm Brian Earhart. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the International Disc Golf Center here in Appling, Georgia. I'm Brian Earhart, joined by my co-host Nate Perkins, and welcome to Tournament Central. Round 2 of the PDGA Champions Cup is underway, and our chase and lead cards are about to tee off in just a bit. Let's talk about the lead card first. Obviously, we got to talk about Kristen Tatar. 100% C1, 40% C2, 75% fairway hits. That's pretty impressive stuff out here when you're pretty much playing 18 holes worth of woods.
Yeah, I mean, last year the best score on an easier course was 500 par. Kristen beats that pace by 4 and doesn't even connect on all of her circle 2 putts. So, I mean, she's the queen of the fairway right now, Brian.
Kristen had some really profound stuff to say after her round yesterday. Let's actually take a listen.
feels amazing. I feel like I've been in this position already this season, so it feels good to do it here in the major as well. I was just taking it easy and just reminding myself that there's no past and there's no future. It's only this moment here, and try to keep myself present and focused on the shots at hand.
Well, queen of the fairway, Nate, but also queen of the champion's mindset. There is no past, there is no future. It's easier said than done, but it's clear that she's starting to really internalize that, and it's working.
Yeah, that's the mindset that every golfer strives to have. I mean, that is the greatest challenge of golf, is to really seed yourself in the present moment and to have a short memory, to forget about your failures on yesterday's round or even the previous hole, and to not think about the future, just to step up on the tee pad, take everything in, and just be there. And I think Kristen is doing that better than anyone else in this tournament.
You hear it a lot from baseball and softball players as well. When you have a sport that's so slow moving, where you fail over and over again, and then you just have to stew within that, it's not easy to bounce back. When you have that knowledge of what to do, it then takes putting yourself in those situations to apply it, and clearly Kristen has done that. 9 under par yesterday. She played fantastic, and again, like we said yesterday, her backhand was fantastic. The forehand was obviously solid. Putt was obviously incredible, 100% C1X. That's always going to put you ahead of the leaders, or up the leaderboard. But what does she have to do now to take down this tournament? Is 9 under a round enough?
Oh, certainly. I don't think anyone was really expecting that number. Last year, 9 under won the event overall after 4 rounds, and I think the course is playing a couple strokes harder this year on average, with the changes on 14 and 18. But also, Brian, spring came a little earlier this year, and the woods are a little more dense. And so if you get off the fairway, you're going to have a little bit more green in your way. It's harder to scramble out of the woods here. Have you seen that?
I have, and I agree with you. And I think even though they've made some of these holes shorter, like you said, the lines are tough out here. And a player like Kat Mertz, right on the heels of Kristen Tatar, shot a 7 under par yesterday with 2 bogeys and started out the tournament with a bogey on hole number 1 and battled back to shoot that number. She's scrappy, and she does know how to play in the woods. Her game is solid, and it actually looks great. And the thing that I noticed the most was the putter looked good coming out of her hand.
And Kat works hard. That's one thing I always see Kat. She's staying at the same campground as us, and she'll put in an hour, 2 hours straight on her basket that she brings around the country with her. But I'm keying in on her fairway hits. She's got a lineup of 9-speed Thunderbirds, all in different stabilities that she is just using to attack these fairways. She'll go super hyzer flip with an overstable to understable Thunderbird.
She's on the card with Katrina Allen and Kristen Tatar. Is there any psychological battle that she has to face for the rest of this tournament?
No, I think Kat actually does have a great mindset. We hear in her interviews pretty regularly how confident she is, and she's not playing for position. That she wants to be the best disc golfer in the world, and so I think that she feels like she's right where she needs to be. I don't think she's intimidated by Katrina or Kristen, so I'm looking forward to seeing her mindset today.
Rounding out the lead card is another young, super talented player, if not the most physically talented player in the FPO division, in Haley King, who says she feels fantastic. We're going to take a quick break, but on the other side of this break, let's hear more from Haley King.
You know, a lot of people say that Ed was the father of disc golf. Well, that's true. He did invent the basket. But Ed did another wonderful thing, probably his major accomplishment, was being the first person to realize that we had a sport on our hands, not just a toy.
In 1976, Steady Ed Hedrick founded the Professional Disc Golf Association with a dream of turning a flying plastic toy into a global sport. Since then, the PDGA Members, players, event directors, and volunteers have worked to realize that dream. From the very first baskets to courses around the world. And yet, it's only the beginning. We're looking to the horizon with even bigger dreams for tomorrow.
Kyle Klein stepping up for the birdie on 18.
Your Open champion, Gannon Burr.
Another record-setting weekend on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Back-to-back weeks. Winner coming from the chase card. Pretty special stuff. Gannon Burr, Kyle Klein, two young superstars on tour, showing you how to get it done.
Welcome back. Haley King will round out your lead card for today's round. Let's hear from her after a round yesterday.
I'm throwing the same 3 discs, so it's very hard to not be comfortable. I just got to make my putts, that's it.
Is there a sense of I've been here, I've done this, and an ability to sort of, I don't know, focus on different things as it was as compared to the way it was before?
I feel like my mindset has never really changed on that part of it. I've always been super aggressive, and I always feel like I belong here, so it hasn't changed too much.
She's always kind of had that laid-back demeanor when she plays disc golf, and sometimes it plays to her advantage, sometimes it doesn't. But right now, I'm seeing the disc come out of Haley's hand really well. It's really looking direct and intentional, and it's coming out with more force than I've potentially ever seen it.
And that's great to hear, Brian, because it hasn't been that way for some time now. I mean, she did win U.S. Women's, but since then, we really haven't seen her on the lead card, and when we have, she's kind of had those shoulders slouched, almost just looking low energy, and it almost comes off as apathetic, but we know that she has been dealing with some health issues, so it's good to see her walking around these woods like very upright and very energetic.
She said in the interview, outside of the clips that were even shown here, that she's just proud of herself for being able to get through a disc golf round without feeling like she's going to pass out. And the fact is, we all noticed it. She looks stronger. She's gone back to Charlotte. She's been practicing. She's been working out. She's been putting on some muscle. And not only does this mean that she's going to throw a little bit, better, a little bit more powerful, injury-wise, it's going to be a little bit more durable for her. And that's something that she struggled with even being a young athlete. When you get into disc golf, you don't have coaches, you don't have nutritionists, you don't have people telling you what's right. So you just play disc golf. And when you're as young as Haley and you were as good as she was, as early as she was, it's easy to just kind of go into the game being a kid. And now the spotlight is shown on her, and I'm proud of her for being able to take those next steps to continue on in her disc golf career. I'm super excited to see how she's playing today.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you bring up, Brian, that a lot of people, a lot of fans out there at home don't realize just how real the grind is out here. Not only do you have to figure out, how to get yourself to the tournament, you have to figure out how to feed yourself on the road, and you have to figure out how to keep yourself in a good state of mind. And Haley has struggled with that just a little bit. I mean, she started out so unbelievably young, so it's good to see that she's arriving to these tournaments now in a better state of mind and with better physical fitness.
It's just funny. Yeah, you have to learn how to be a pro athlete before you do it, which is interesting. But someone who has figured this out, Katrina Allen. Katrina, over the years, has become one of the elite athletes on tour in regards to preparation, mentally and physically, and she threw the disc amazing yesterday.
Yeah, and one thing that we heard from her, and we're going to hear from her shortly, is that she wasn't panicking, and I did see that from a lot of other players in both the FPO and MPO, and Katrina's a veteran. She said she's been here since last Friday, Brian, and even though she found herself one over through the first 5 holes, she didn't panic. She stayed in the moment, stepped up to the next, and racked up some birdies.
Let's hear more from that interview yesterday after her round.
I've been here since last Thursday, and I think I just have a game plan where even if things aren't going well, I can just actually step up to the next tee pad and I'm not in panic mode. I'm just, next tee shot. Birdies are going to come. I said to myself when it wasn't going as well, it's a marathon. I think I don't know what hole it was, but Austin's like 64 more holes to go. Like, I think I missed a birdie putt, and he's like, 64 more holes. They're going to come. Just let it come.
And to react to that and to react to what you were saying before the interview, the panic mode is real out here when you play in the woods. We're so used to, especially on this stretch of the tour, throwing with a lot of open space to even make a mistake and still land in bounds. If you make a micro mistake out here at Jackson, it can start really wearing on you. And like you said, I noticed it all around me.
Yeah, there's something different. It just being a major, you see things from the top players that we normally don't see. You see people hit that panic mode. Like, I feel like I saw Macbeth hit the panic button after the front nine, and he was, one down. And we saw a few players, Katrina, one of them, who found themselves over par, didn't hit that panic mode, and it actually paid off for them. Nicholas Antila, another player who just settled in, realized that they have 3.5 rounds left, and that's what we need to see from Katrina if she's going to push Kristen today.
Well, she did say it was a marathon, and it is. These 4-round, 5-round events are marathons, mentally and physically. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back from that break, chase card talk, they're about to go off soon.
An important part of getting a PDGA membership is helping grow the game. Membership dollars are used to bolster competition of all levels, from local C-tiers to majors. Tools like Digital Scorecard and Tournament Manager help events run seamlessly. Your PDGA membership also gives you access to Disc Golf Network coverage for select events and a 50% discount to their full coverage package. Help grow the sport and get started today. Visit pdga.com/join.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines in NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make difference so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
We have a really interesting chase card today. Owen Scoggins, one of the best players in the game right now, one of the best putters in the game. Saw her struggle a bit on the fairways, trying to maybe force a little bit of that force over forehand a bit too much. Is it a strategy that she maybe can get away with out here?
I think so. I think that these fairways are just wide enough for her to play that flex. We've seen when the fairways tighten up just a little bit more than W.R. Jackson, that Owen does struggle because she likes to play such a strong flex. But what we saw yesterday from Owen were 2 3-putts, Brian. And you can count on one hand how many 3-putts Owen has had this entire season. So if she cleans those 3-putts up, she's on the lead card, just one back of Kristen.
She had a rough finish, and some of these longer holes to finish, 17 and 18 both. You have to have a solid drive with solid distance to get up that fairway to even give yourself a birdie opportunity. So if she can clean up the finish, clean up the putt, like you said, her consistency and her, despite the distance, can bring her up towards the top. Let's talk about kind of the opposite player, Henna Blomroos, 50% C1X. She's going to be on the chase card, but was rocketing drives through the woods.
Yeah, I mean, she's still top 5 off the tee in the game right now as far as statistics go. She's pushing the limits for distance. Will she find the putt? That's the question everyone keeps asking. Henna and Evelina both are both in the same boat where they'll make a few putts and then all of a sudden they'll step up to a 15-foot putt, and they'll 3-putt it. So very interested to see if she's going to allow that wrist to really open up and just, play free.
Watched her on hole 11 throw a 410-foot turnover long of the basket to 40 feet and just didn't give that putt a chance. And I think that's been the theme of her season this year. I mean, even if she can get those numbers up to 70, 75% C1, those are the 2-3 strokes per round that can shoot her way up and start contending. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Isaac Robinson talk. We'll be right back. Double G Craft Jerky has been a favorite of mine for years. The unique flavors and delicious taste make it the perfect snack. Every bag of Double G Jerky sold contributes to the Double G Children's Foundation, which helps support youth disc golf. Visit doublegjerky.com and use coupon code DGPT on your order and get a free 1-ounce bag of jerky with your order.
On the surface, Ledgestone is one of disc golf's leading retailers, but look a little closer and you'll find a group of motivated individuals providing the best possible service to the disc golf community. So whether you're building a bag, wanting to support your favorite pro, or looking to add to your disc golf wardrobe, choose Ledgestone.
All of us at Bushnell are excited to be here for the Champions Cup and very proud to have been a part of this since day one. We want to say thank you to the players and the fans for supporting the event and joining with us to push the sport forward.
My favorite flavor of Double G Craft Jerky, easy choice, the teriyaki. I love my sweet and I love my salty food. It's a great combination of both.
Got to go for the hot boom sauce to give you that extra kick.
Probably going to surprise a lot of you guys. My favorite flavor is actually the Texas sweet and spicy. I find it to be one of the best jerkies I've ever had.
Welcome back. Let's take a quick jump to the MPO division. Isaac Robinson was the talk of the town yesterday, playing phenomenally off the tee and obviously hitting almost every putt there was. Nate, do you expect him to continue on this week?
I mean, if someone doesn't tell him it's a major, I think he can just sneak away with the attitude that he had yesterday. It's really amazing. He hasn't had a great season, but yet he shows up here and it doesn't even look like he knows it's a major. It looks like he's just playing in his backyard. He's shaping that FX4 like a putter on some of these fairways, and his wrist is completely free on the spin putt. So if he can stay relaxed and in that same state of mind, I think he's going to be a force.
It's interesting you say that with his wrist. If you watch it in slow motion, it really does look free, and that release point is tough to keep consistent. That's kind of the muse of the spin putter, so to speak. Your release point has to be dialed. You have to be confident. The moment you show any fear, you're spraying left and right like crazy, and he just hasn't found that. And I think the fact that he doesn't take a lot of time is a testament to that. I think he's just trying to tap into that muscle memory and not think about anything else. He started out his run and rise to the top like last season when he was running putts that no one else had any business running with so much more pace, and now he's on a course that suits his style. His distance is clearly there, right up with the best players in the world. Get to the top of the hill on hole 17, a phenomenal shot that not a lot of people can even pull off. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Nate. If he can keep that spin putt consistent, which like you said earlier in the year, hasn't been that consistent. We'll just have to see. Let's hear from Isaac after his round. He has a few things to say.
I was just staying in the fairways. This course is pretty fair if you're able to hit the gaps and hit the lines and stay, in the fairway. I felt like I was doing that well today. And then also circle one putting felt good. We're in Georgia. This is my home state, so I've played here, all my life, and it just kind of feels natural. playing in the woods and playing with elevation and putting in elevation. It just feels natural, and it's what I'm comfortable doing.
He's home. He's home here in Georgia. He loves this style of golf. He loves playing in this type of environment. And maybe he can't keep it in bounds on the golf course, but he's clearly keeping it in bounds on this wooded golf course.
Yeah, I didn't even realize how close his home is. Just 2.5 hours away from where him and his little brother grew up playing with their dad in the same exact type of terrain. So it makes a little bit more sense why he seems to be just so relaxed in the Piney Woods.
We are going to send it to one more quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up.
Show up, stay a while.
Join the Paul Macbeth Foundation's Builders Club to help bring sustainable disc golf experiences to people and communities around the world. For a small monthly donation, you can help us make a real impact. Your donation will go directly to making a difference. By becoming a monthly subscriber, you'll also receive exclusive updates on our work, special offers, and discounts. So join us today and make a difference with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Together we can make a big impact, one small donation at a time.
Welcome back. Lots of FPO action coming up today. Make sure to tune in after the round for post-game coverage right back here on Tournament Central. For Brian Earhart, Nate Perkins, we're signing off, and we'll see you out there.